right, coming from the next on stage is Kiatra Edwards. Let's bring her to the stage. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go. I know she was out of town and she's still here. Okay, we have her. You know what? She's out of town working, but we're gonna go to our next person, Miss Dynasty Ragas, coming to the stage. Dynasty, let's go. Let's go.
Hello, beautiful people. Now y'all know this is gonna be the first for me speaking besides doing the live challenge, but let me start off here. Thank you, Miss Sheila C. Hill, the Sheila C. Hill Show. Okay.
Take your time.
Got this. Thank you. Thank you for your vision. And I want to thank myself for my yes. This is a big deal for me as first off, I'm a woman of God. I usually refer to my favorite chapter. It's going to be Proverbs 31, the virtuous woman, because that's kind of, my related field there. Besides that, I'm a wife. I'm a mother of 6. I got 5 girls and 1 boy. So yeah, big deal over here. But besides all that, I'm a heavy hitter boss lady. I do big things, and I grind, I hustle, but I always wasn't like this. I started early. I got married at the age of 19. I started having kids at the age of 19, and I kind of been pregnant all the way through every year. So it was like, yeah, what you doing, girl? But through all that, became who I am today. 24 years old, I stopped working. I got tired. I have always been an entrepreneur. I've been working since 16. And at that point, I knew I was an entrepreneur because I was working at Sonic. Now, how was I finessing Sonic? My tips and my reviews. That's how I knew I was an entrepreneur. That was my entrepreneur side as working at somebody else's job establishment. I was ranking up tips and reviews. Besides that, just going through life itself, I'm a person whose support system is very low. I have not always been an introvert, and as coming into the challenge, I'm a big one. I was a big one, a heavy one, and probably more than anybody, but I don't know. I was scrolling, and I usually don't scroll on Facebook because I'm the one that block game is real good. When I don't see something on Facebook I don't like or any social platform, I'm not the one to go deleting you. I'm blocking, and then I'm deleting the whole platform and starting over. That was what I was known to do. I don't know. They say I was a good runner, and I was a track star. So I was good at running away from things that I didn't want to confront and deal with. But as I got older, I'm telling you, being a good girl wasn't always a good thing because, baby, you still get touched and you still get those, negative naysayers and things on you, no matter how good I thought, I was and calm and whatever it was. When I turned 24, like I said, I quit my job. I was doing security. I'm going to post my picture actually on Facebook. I never posted this picture a day in my life while I was sleeping on the floor. I was supposed to be securing these people's job, and I ended up sleeping on the floor. And I called my husband and said, can I quit? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, cool, I'm gone. And never came back. During the time of being a housewife, a mother, and I just knew I couldn't work a 9-to-5 no more. Because at this point, I got 6 kids. I can't work no more. School's calling, this and that was going on with me. So it was a no. It was a no for me for a 9-to-5. I started my hustling when just doing all kind of stuff. I'm known to be the jack of all trades, so I kind of like tapped into a lot of things. I didn't care what it was, but at that point, it became an issue in life now where it was you just doing stuff for money and not stuff I was passionate about just for $1. now at my 30-year-old age, because I don't want to go into my life story on here, and now at my 30-year-old age, I'm gonna go back to actually 2020, where I actually started really getting into entrepreneurship, where I've been in entrepreneurship for about 7 years, but really tapping into it, I would say like four and a half, going on 5. I started when I wanted to do a boutique, and that did okay. The thing that didn't do okay is you have those people that just don't want to buy, or because it's you, or they didn't want to, support because it was you, who, whatever it was, family members, friends, whatever it was. So that's how I came to be as far as what I do, faceless branding. So faceless branding, and I want to clear it up because I know people like, okay, it is an introvert thing, you guys, but faceless branding actually helps one, get confidence, the confidence to run a brand. So you putting a brand in the first and your face in the back, being that, most of us have like very, very good ideas, but it's hard to get it out because, again, the lack of support and things like that. So I start tapping into faceless branding, and it has become successful. My first 4 months, I cleared over 50,000 in the store just running faceless branding. I've been able to move along, go to Miami, jump ship, go to Miami. I opened up a post-op care where I took care of girls coming out of cosmetic surgery. Just got up and left, didn't have no location to go or nothing. I was at the Cambria Hotel in Miami, Florida, where I took care of girls. That became my home, like it was my Airbnb. I did very well in that until life happened again, where I had to take a step back and really focus on what I could do from home. My ultimate goal was to retire my husband. I don't use the word retire because I use the word he quit. Just like he let me quit, I let him quit. So that was my ultimate goal, to do that. And I have been able to do that. December the 16th of 2022, my husband no longer had worked the 9 to 5. During that process, I have been able to secure both of our credit score up to a high 700s. Well, my husband's a little over, he's almost to 800 credit score. So I've been able to build credit. I've been able to secure multiple 6 figures on business credit, on different credit cards and things like that. So just during the whole entrepreneur journey, I just had to learn self-care had to be a big thing for me. I lacked self-care at first, and I don't know if it was for support or what it could have been, but that's where I fell short at. And I just wanted people to know, even though, I feel like I'm always the smartest in the room, and they say when you're the smartest in the room, you don't need to be in that room. So I've let people dummy me down. And when I say never let nobody dummy you down, never let nobody dummy you down. So I stood strong. I kept my hustle. I kept going. I kept God first. And that's another thing. I had to tap back into God, because even though my grandmother and things kept me in church, as we get young adults, 18, 19, 20, we seem to stray away from the church home and things like that. But God really set me down and humbled me. And that's when I've been able to, he wouldn't allow me to, I guess, welcome things that I wanted in life, like to be around a group of individuals. He wouldn't allow me to have those individuals because I wasn't healed, and I didn't take care of myself. So as I joined this challenge and met some dope individuals, I've been able to welcome them in, not feel no type of way, not, think somebody's always out to get me, because I always felt that, like somebody using me for opportunity and things like that. So I've been able to, stay strong and get through it. And I thank all of you. I thank all of you for getting me through this. And I just finished the challenge. I was able to finish the challenge Friday. I'm one of the ones that finished last, but I'm not a failure, and I knew I was going to get through it. So I am leaving here today, not only as still an introvert internally, not externally, because I plan on, doing big things, speaking without crying half of the time, but this is my story. I'm leaving here not an introvert, but I'm not leaving as an extrovert, but I'm leaving here as a servant. I'm ready to continue to serve, but serve out loud and not secretly. Lord. As I know God has big plans for me, and I always say to myself, if God is for us, who could be against us? I recite that to myself all the time. And what elevation requires separation, and people that I didn't want to leave behind, I had to leave behind. So I've been doing this thing solo with me and my husband and my kids, my biggest support system right now, besides you guys. Thank you guys. And if I could just leave this with you guys, you never know how strong you have to be until strong is all you have to be. And that's all I got.
My God. Woo! Dynasty. Baby, thank you for sharing your story. And it's okay to cry when you're telling your story. It's emotional. You never know how strong you have to be until you that just blew my mind right there, sis. Oh my God. Never let nobody dumb you down. Serve out loud. That seems like that's been the whole subtopic. Serve out loud. Stop being the secret sauce. Elevation requires separation. A lot of people don't understand that, but once you get it, and you understand, you're able to go. Thank you very much. Oh my God. Oh my God. Thank you very much for sharing. I tell you, I can't about take no more. I don't know. Y'all just don't know how blessed you all are blessing me. Coming up next is Miss Damika Wesley. Thanks. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go. Woo, baby.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Miss Sheila, thank you for everything that you have done, even prior to this challenge, but definitely throughout this challenge. I want to start off first off by telling y'all I have overcome everything that was meant to break me. How many of you have felt like life has just tried to beat you down? I can remember when I felt that same exact way. So let me take a step back before I jump into all of that and properly introduce myself. My name is Damika Wesley. I'm a lifestyle transformation coach, and I help professional women to shift their mindset, to transform their daily routines, and to adopt healthier habits. And I'll explain how I got there, but I have a question for you first. Do you have those days when you feel like you just can't catch a break? From the start of your morning, life just starts lifing. Then the next day, the same thing. The next day, the same thing. You start to ask yourself, when am I going to catch a break? Thoughts start roaming through your head. I can never catch a break. Every time I take 2 steps forward, I get knocked back 4. Everybody is making it except for me. I can't, this always happens. Who can relate to that? I know that was my story. But can I tell you something? It's not that you can't catch a break. The issue is you're focusing on the wrong things. See, because I can remember when I focused on my problems, I focused on my traumas, I focused on my setbacks, I focused on my failures. I've started so many things that I've never finished. I've been physically, emotionally, sexually abused. I've been homeless. You name it, I've probably been through it. And those were the things that I focused on. And you know what it got me? More problems, more trauma, more setbacks, and more failures. The reason is because what we focus on grows. Let me give you an example. You ever bought a car or thought about buying a particular car? You're excited thinking, "Ooh, I haven't even seen too many people with this car." And then all of a sudden you're driving and everywhere that you go, you see that car. You start to think to yourself, did they have a giveaway or something? But the reality is it was always there. You just weren't focused on them, so you didn't see them. It's the same thing with our problems. The good times are there. You are having success. You are having great days. But because you're focused on your problems, challenges, and setbacks, that's all you can see. You will always have challenges, just as well as you'll always have successes. It's how you view them that'll determine the outcome that they have on you. So you have a choice. You can dwell on the negative or you can embrace it and focus on the positive. But that choice is yours. You got to make a decision on what you're going to focus on. Because remember, what you focus on will grow. That's what led me to being a lifestyle transformation coach. Because 3 or 4 years ago, I would have told you that my freight dispatcher and broker agent company would be successful. I would have told you that my customer pearl business will be booming. I would have told you that my printing company would have skyrocketed by now. But God had other plans for me. When I tell y'all, he broke me down. And the reason was I wouldn't listen. He kept telling me, be thankful for what you have and be grateful for where you are. And I kept wanting more. I wanted to continue to level up, but I hadn't even mastered or appreciate the level that he allowed me to be at. As most of you know, when we don't listen, he'll make us listen. And he stripped everything that I had to get my attention. And trust me, it did. By that time, I had health conditions. I was battling anxiety, stress, worry. I had financial struggles and so much more. But he was still telling me, be thankful for what you have and be grateful for where you are. So this time I had no choice but to listen. And that's when I started my personal growth journey. I had to take time to evaluate who I was and transform myself into who God wanted me to be. And I had to change the things that I was focusing on. While the things I had been through, it wasn't ideal, but they were necessary. Because when I coach that lady who has been abused, I can do so from a place of empathy and I can resonate with her. And she can know that her past does not define her future because she can look at me and know that she can make it too. And when I coach the mother who feels worthless and beats herself up for not being able to provide a roof over her kid's head, I can do so from a place of empathy and give her hope that she's going to make it through. My journey in life brought me to coaching, but God shifted my focus to create the woman that I am today, the woman that sits on this platform today. So remember, the next time you start to focus on your problems, your setbacks, and your failures, view them as opportunities instead and not as a hindrance. Because like I said, what you focus on will grow. If you are ready to become a better you, I have a Facebook community called the Better You Community. I would love for you guys to be a part of. I'll drop the link in the chat. We just empower, inspire, and help you along in your personal growth journey. And you can also find me on all social media platforms at Damika Wesley or at Evolve Coaching, and that's EVLVE. There's no O in Evolve. That's all I have for you guys today.
Damika, yes, what you focus on will grow. Oh my, okay, in the chat, y'all put in the chat, be thankful. Just put in the chat, be thankful, because I love that. Be thankful for what you have and grateful for where you are. Be thankful. My God, my God. Yes, thank you, Damika Wesley. All right, next up is Miss Colleen Ryan. Let's go to the stage, all the way from Charlotte, North Carolina. We welcome you.
Hey guys. Hey. Oh my God. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. This is so powerful. Like the cup is full, the cup is empty, the cup is full. Wow. So I have to first thank God because without him, I'm a living testimony. So that's who I am first. I've died and came back to life. And without without, okay, I'm sorry.
Take your time. No need to apologize, sis. Take your time. You're good.
Without God saving my life and my daughter's life, her twin didn't make it, but without being alive, I wouldn't be here to be a mom. And everything I do is for my kids. So I thank you. Each of you have touched upon so many different aspects. I think, Sheila, thank you so much. Because, oh, these eyelashes, I knew I shouldn't have put them on. I get dollar lashes because I think they're cute. I should have just kept them off. But I say that because I thank you, Sheila, because I didn't realize I would start a healing journey. I thought I was just doing the live and the accountability and trying to help and inspire. In turn, it helped me heal. So I'm still a work in progress. So you have to bear with me. I'm going to try to keep all the words, I'm going to try to behave. I really am, but it's that half hood, half holy, pray with me, don't play with me. I'm still a work in progress. Hello. So I am Colleen Ryan. I am the CEO of JAVA, Just Have a Victorious Attitude. That started a few years ago when I won custody. I left New York. I got custody of my kids after my divorce, and we relocated. I took a leap of faith after I've lost my house, a foreclosure, a repossession. I Ubered for a month or two and bought a car from the corner store for $2,000. I packed up that Toyota Camry 2002, and I love it. Thank you, Jesus. When it stopped working, I was thankful because it got me to a new beginning. I found my self-worth along this journey. My kids and I have been in Charlotte now for 4 years. And my company it started actually back in New York at a paint and twist, paint and sip, or I was sipping and painting. I'm not really sure what I was doing. But JHAVA are my kids. And it's Jalen, Jada, and Ava. And because when I was, in childbirth and in Ava, I died and came back to life. The doctors, God saved my life. I had blood transfusions. They said I couldn't work for 6 to 12 months. My ex-husband at the time, he was in prison. I went back to work. Ava got her shots at 8 weeks and I was back at work at the salon. Okay. Because I didn't have time. It was, I had to take care of my babies. And I remember being wheeled into in the ambulance and saying, God just saved my life. I won't sell a drug again. I won't do this again. I won't do this again. I'll be a better steward over my finances. I'll try to help save, I lost a lot of friends in the street. God just saved my life to be a mom. So being single and celibate and just being a mom is that's what I'm thankful for. And just to serve and to give back. I love people. I serve, inspire, motivate the underdog to become victorious. Okay. Since being in school, I had the desk outside the classroom. I had the C's. I was going to the principal office. I was in summer school. I would like to fight. I was just, traditional school. I wasn't a traditional student. So oftentimes the non-traditional students are pushed to the side and we're not heard. We're not seen. The ISS room, a teacher and I was my best friend. I'm like, okay, I'll go to in-school. It's more fun. Because when you think different, you do different. Not all of our students in our country are meant to learn the same. I'm a realtor, I'm an educator, and I'm a creator. I have survived narcissistic upbringing, married a narcissist. Thank you, Jesus, for my divorce. I pray for him daily to heal. But I know my self-worth. I now know how to say no. When you say no to people, you learn really where you stand with them. And you've got to put up that healthy boundary, okay? Because I don't have time for the toxicity. I'm going to let go and I'm going to let God handle that. I've survived a sexual assault. I've survived seeing someone I know get shot and died and be covered in their blood for 24 hours. I've seen my students get shot and pass away. I've seen numerous friends not make it. But I also know the power of God. My best friend for 30 years, I hadn't seen him in a few months. He had just come home again. He was had I not lost my car and needed a ride, who do I call? I called Shondell, and I saw him on a Saturday and he was killed on a Tuesday. But I thank God because I was able to see him. And so my whole purpose is to, when you see loss and you see underdogs and you see men and women who have trauma from their childhood, and we don't address it and we don't heal from it, we navigate towards a gang, or we navigate towards toxic behavior. I've recently overcome emotional eating, retail therapy, emotional eating. You look for the wrong relationships, looking for love in all the wrong places. You're like, oh, I got kids. I got 3 baby daddies. Yes, I do. Yep. And I'm proud of them because my kids are all each, part of their dads. And I love their dads and I'll pray for them no matter if we can't have a friendship or relationship. One day, if that's meant to be, God will ordain that friendship to happen. But I will no longer allow toxicity to be spoken on me from a relative, from a relationship, whether it's business or professional. I will quit a job quickly. Again, I just quit again. You're going to talk down? No, thank you. Nope, I'm not doing it. Commercial real estate? Nope, not for me. You're going to respect me. You're going to talk with, I'm a woman. I'm a child of God, and we all need to be talked to with respect. And we need to have healthy communication. And if you can't have healthy communication, we cannot collaborate. The block game is real and I love it. It is hard. Sometimes I try to be quiet because it's so hard sometimes. Angela will check me like, Colleen, okay, just behave, right? And I just truly love, I love to help and I want to serve. So what I teach by the block was a chapter in my life skills book. I taught in a detention center for 6 years. I thought being in a system would help me to fix the system. And I cannot. We have a major criminal justice issue and education issue in our country. We have the racism, we have the injustices of the criminal justice system are horrific to me. And I will speak against it. I will talk against it. I will not work in a system that is not open to change. So as I'm working on building my nonprofit, as I'm working on exonerations of wrongfully convicted, as I'm working on my life skills to instill to the kids stuff I've volunteered for 25 years, I will create into a nonprofit to have a greater impact. I just want to help make the world a better place. Psalms 91:11 is one of my go-tos because God protected me. Those living angels, he saved me that day. I could have died. I've done some foolish stuff and he's looked out for me and he's covered me. And so when I'm in here, and I was so emotional because every person in here is a reflection of that Psalms 91:11. When we pour into people and when we love people and when we inspire people, we're actually living out that living Psalms, right? We are the living angels whose God has brought us together because we'll have a greater impact together. We can't do it alone. I'm still a work in progress. My rent's paid. I got certain stuff. I'm going to get that credit score up. So you guys are inspiring me. I don't care. It could be a 500 today. It's going to be an 800 next year, Lord willing. But I'm not going to stop. And people say you can't have a business or what you can't do. Yes, I can. Just have a victorious attitude. I have the victory. Everyone here has a victory. I also teach, I have been a server and bartender since I was 18 years old and I'm 49. I've lived off of $2.85 an hour and lived off of tips because I'm a phenomenal server. Okay, I give great service. There's no one like me in Charlotte. There's probably no one like me in the East Coast because my service is impeccable. And I will toot my own horn on that because I've lived off of tips. So when you can live off of tips, you know your service and your worth. I will teach customer service consulting. I will help do an analyzation of anyone's business if you have reviews. I will help teach you, if you are in a customer service field, how to give the best service so you can represent yourself or your company with the best service. Because guess what? Customer service nowadays, whether you're going out to a restaurant or calling someone on the phone, it's lacking. Okay, so that's just another avenue that I'm trying to help change. The life skills curriculum is my passion. And even Dynasty, and thank you for all your help in bringing my old school, but I like pen and paper. Look at, I'm still old school. I got the notebook. I'm writing stuff down. That's just who I am. It's such a passion. In over 25 years of life, I'm going to be publishing that book next year. I'm not going to rush it. I will have an ebook out every week because there are chapters in there that I believe should be, it really should be incorporated in our education system, because our education system is lacking in the life skills. The life skills are going to go anywhere from journaling, art, music, and poetry, because we have to heal. And when we journal, we heal. When we draw, we heal. When we listen to music, Biggie's going to come on. I don't know if it's Ty Tribbett coming on. I'm not sure who's coming on, but I'll try to keep it clean. When you hear me live, you're going to just hear some stuff. I'm not sure what day is going to bring. Okay. But that music is healing. It can bring the blood pressure down. My son, his form of healing is art. He's creative. He's artistic. My daughter's a singer. Poetry is a passion of mine, right? I taught it in detention. And my kids wrote beautiful poetry. My students wrote beautiful poetry. Mental health is another part of that life skills curriculum. My son's brother had committed suicide a couple years ago. I have a cousin who committed suicide. 988 for anyone who feels that what's going on in your life, okay, you feel like you can't go on, you can. You're going to get through it, and you're going to live, because your life matters. Your life is important, and you're here, and you're blessed to breathe. And there's so many people who love you. So anyone watching on this, anyone on the podcast, if you're feeling like you have no way out, please call 988. Please reach out probably to any one of us in our inboxes. We will pour that word into you. We love you because you matter. That's part of the life skills, because a lot of times we don't heal. I have not healed from a lot of unaddressed trauma, and you look for the wrong relationships. You look to fill that void in your life. And you really just have to be able to, once you start healing, you're just, sky is the limit, right? Sky is the limit, and you know that you, okay, now I get excited. But you really just have to know, like, you can do whatever you want. You have to be victorious. I work on work readiness and resumes. There's a lot of trauma-based training, because I think in our education system, I think in the workplace, how do we expect our students to learn when they've seen trauma? Okay, my house has been shot out, my car has been shot at, I've lost friends in the street, and my son and my daughters, they've had to go to school after you're up all night crying at a hospital, praying that your loved one survives. How do you learn math? How do you learn English? And if you don't have effective trauma-based training in our education system, in the criminal justice system, there needs to be rehabilitation for second chances. There has to be less judgment. We all have stories. Some of us may not have gotten caught. I done got caught. Listen, Lord willing, thank you, Jesus. I'm alive. I am free, because there's so many people who've gotten caught for less, or innocent. Let's just be honest. There's a lot of innocent people in our criminal justice system, and I don't knock it. I have officers in my family. I have people I know in my family, and God bless them. There's good and bad in everybody, right? But I think it's up to all of us good people, and no matter what field we're in, to check the ones that are wrong, okay? Because you gotta, you really have to be held accountable, and it's accountability. Aside from just teaching, the creating part, I am offering to everyone who took this 30-day live challenge, I'd love to seed you all a shirt. I make shirts because I'm creative. It's a therapy for me. So I want each of you to DM me and just pick a phrase or pick a quote that you can see. If I can pay for your shipping, I will. If not, you might got to pay for shipping. I'm not really quite sure. It depends what day you're going to message me. I'm going to be honest with you, but I want to seed that, because when you see your brand, or when you see that quote, that's a conversation starter. That's how we have impact. Yes, Crystal. I go outside 90% of the time with something that's passionate for me. And that's a conversation starter. And you never know who you meet. You never know online who sees you. You never know who you connect with. And I also am offering here, I will drop my Calendly link, because everyone has to have a victorious plan. If you don't have a plan on what you want to do, I'm not a coach, I'm not a mentor, I'm just this woman who loves people. Another scripture is James 2:8. If you love your neighbor, that's how you can impact the world, right? We have to treat each other how we want to be treated. But when you can spread love and kindness, and I really just am here to help you. I'm here to help anyone who feels that your self-worth, that you're not worthy, because we are worthy. At 49, I learned in my 40s my worth. I don't want you to wait. And so I'm inspired by everyone who's just being a boss. And to the men on here, thank you so much. I have the best dad in the world, and that's how I've overcome so much. So I thank you for pouring into us. And so I know I kind of went all over the place. I was trying to stay on track, but I thank you guys. I will drop my Calendly link. Colleen P. Ryan is on Facebook and Instagram. I do have a group that will be a podcast in the next few weeks. It's a Facebook group called Cocktails and Conversations with Colleen. Because I'm not just a realtor, real estate is a resource, and Angela helped me understand my real estate license was taken out of the chapter of my life skills book. One of my students in Lonsdale, may he rest in peace, he said, Miss Ryan, you can't sell shit. He's like, what, you can't sell a house? I said, well, he goes, you got a license to sell? And I said, you know what, I don't. And that was just a chapter. Buy the Block is a chapter out of that book. And so when I moved and I knew that God wanted me to get this out and to try to make a greater impact, I got my realtor license for that reason. So I have a couple closing on December 20th who was told by a bank they wouldn't have a loan, that they could not get approved. Well, honey, they're closing. Their down payment was paid. Their plan, we came up with their plan. So real estate is a little slower for me because I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it to make a difference and to have an impact and serve. So I do multiple streams. I still work events. I still work customer service. I use all the gifts and talents that God gave me. And me and my kids are going to be great. I will also offer, if you DM me, JHAVA, just have a victorious attitude, DM me Java. Again, that's my kids, Jalen, Jada, and Ava, but it turned into just have a victorious attitude because God got me from New York to North Carolina when people said I couldn't, when they didn't say what I didn't have or what I don't have. I didn't finish my bachelor's. I got my associates. I'm at C student. Us underdogs got it. And I'm a victorious underdog. And I want to get everyone to be a victorious underdog. So I have free ebooks on my first chapter of my life skills. It's called Who Am I? I didn't know who I was. And Sheila, my healing journey, I had to refill out my life skills. I use it for myself. It's part of how I raise my son, and my kids use it. But what I will say is that we are all different. So I was different at 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, etc. And at 49, I had to rediscover who I am. What are my triggers? What are my strengths? So this is just for everyone. It's not just for students. It's just for everyone to rediscover who you are. There are home buying worksheets that I have for budgeting. I have lender and realtor vocabulary because you need to know DTI, that's a debt to income ratio. You can't have conversations if you don't know. So I have numerous sheets that I will send you via email. I'm also offering, if you book on Calendly, whether you want a victorious plan for yourself or your business or a customer service consultation analysis, I will offer 4 free 30-minute consultations. So there will be 4 appointments that you can make. And I will go over Google reviews that I see. I will look into your business. I will look and see how you can increase your customer service or anything that I can help with. If you just are feeling where you're not sure what way to go or what to do, you know, God gives us a purpose and God gives us a gift. And I'm so thankful that my gift has been overcoming and being a victorious underdog. I am the underdog that has overcame, and I'm still a work in progress, and I'm not going to stop. And I'm here to just say, just have a victorious attitude in all you do. Trust God. Okay. Put God first in everything, and use your discernment and pray about it. Okay. Because not everything is meant to help us, and there's things to harm us. But one thing I know, being divorced, one thing I know in having different dads with different kids, it's not something I advertise. I don't advertise a single mom flag. That shit is hard. Okay. It's hard and it's a lot. So I don't promote it, but I do know that you are worthy. You are worthy of respect. You are not worthy of verbal abuse. You do not need verbal abuse. You do not need physical abuse. Okay. I haven't been a victim of physical because I'll catch hands, but the verbal abuse is just as toxic. Okay. And my self-worth and turning to emotional eating really affected me. And so now at 49, honey, sky's the limit for me because you're going to see me coming. I cannot wait. I'm excited. I thank you, God. I thank you, Sheila, for putting this together. I thank each one of you because you've inspired me, whether we've interacted a lot or not. I appreciate you and I love you guys. And again, please DM me your quote because I will put something fun together, just a shirt, so you can see every day. I don't care if you wear it at home, if you wear it out in the community, but everything you guys are doing is so impactful. And I appreciate you, and just have a victorious attitude.
Just have a victorious attitude. Thank you, Colleen, for sharing your story. Very inspirational. Inspire and serve the underdog. Woo, baby. That's amazing. I know my worth. Come on. That right there is enough. We can have a whole episode on that one. Thank you very much, Colleen from Charlotte, North Carolina. Reach out to her. Thank you for those awesome offers. Like, wow, it was kept coming, girl. I was like loving it. All right. Next to the stage. All right, y'all gonna have to get up, move around. Come on, this summer is still going. Come on, get on out your seat and move or something because we're still at it. We have 4 more awesome dynamic speakers coming up on the stage. They already lined up at the door, get ready to walk on stage. Right now, we have Miss TammyRenee Maxwell. Come on. Woo, let's go, Tammy.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Colleen, I just want to give you your flowers, okay? I just want to give you your flowers, your story. And everyone's story on here, I don't think we realize the level of connection we have with each other. Some of us don't share everything about ourselves, but Colleen, I'm right here with you with that underdog, okay? I'm right here. And that's who I serve. I serve the underdogs, but I choose to call them game changers and our future leaders, because we are the ones who went through all that. We are the ones who know how to handle the diversity, the adversity, the struggle, the ups, the downs, and take something and turn it into gold, okay? Turn it into gold. Oh my gosh, everyone's story on here, everyone's offer on here, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. That's all I can say. But before I even start beginning, I would like to say anyone who has been in the military and has served us, today is Veterans Day. I do want to thank you, anyone who has been on the military, who is listening to this, whether it's today, next week, next month. Thank you for your service. And for Sheila, we got to give Sheila her flowers too. You know, you have provided this opportunity for all of us to come on here and be able to share our stories, to come on here and be able to face who we truly are, and to share that with the world. So I thank you so much. And Colleen, I had to know you were into customer service, because I've been watching the thread over here, and you've been keeping up on everybody's stuff, just dropping it. So I want to thank you for that too, because some of us be so into it, we can't keep up with the typing, but you're doing your thing, girl. You're doing your thing. So thank you so much again for that. So my name is TammyRenee. And I'm going to try not to speak too fast, because I get excited. My energy starts to go. Everybody know I got this big energy. It starts to go and I talk fast. But my name is TammyRenee. I'm a speaker and author, a best-selling author at that, a creative curator, an energetic healer, and a new podcaster, thanks to Sheila Hill. The podcast can be found on, you can start by looking on Spotify. It is on other channels, but it's called Wave Philosophy. That's W-A-V-E, Wave Philosophy. So you can follow me on that and subscribe. But although I am all of those things, my number one goal in life is to inspire, motivate, and support game changers, entrepreneurs, our future leaders, into stepping outside of their box and stepping into their purpose and power by aligning their personal and professional with their core values. Having those core values aligning with each other is a game changer, because now you are doing what is in your purpose, it gives you power. So, with that being said, Colleen, I know you said you love poetry, and it just so happened I had planned on reading a poetry piece today. So I'm going to start off where my journey, this is the poem I chose to read today is from my book, Food for Thought. I don't know if you can see it here, but it's from Food for Thought. And it is where my journey started as a child, where it ended, and where the new beginning started to happen for me. And the name of that poem is called Free My Voice. Free my voice. After living in silence, it's time to free my voice. So many years of keeping quiet just to keep the peace. For my sake, the fear, guilt, shame held me in my place. The fear didn't want you to be mad at me. The guilt didn't make me feel like I was good enough, you see. And the shame kept me silent with no say. I thought I needed your approval just to approve of me. Back then, I did. But today, I'm going to say this just for me. It strengthened me and taught me a few lessons. I no longer give into my fear. I feel better than I did, and I will speak my peace. Now you see. That piece was written during the pandemic when I didn't even know I was going to be a writer. All those poetries in my book, Food for Thought, was written during the pandemic while I was experiencing and going through my healing process. See, as a child, we are told kids are not to be heard, but to be seen. And that was spoken yesterday, and it resonated with me. But sometimes that is taken way farther than just not being heard. We are silenced. We silence our emotions. We silence how to express ourselves. And then sometimes we learn how to cater to other people and forget who we are. That's been my experience. I did not know who I was. I did not know how to dream. I just started living life just to please other people, to make them happy, to make them flourish, to make them look good. And as a child, when you do that, you grow, you start to grow. And if you don't recognize anything different, that becomes your life. So at age 17, what I'll say is that I was signed over to be married. So I was signed over to be married at 17 because it was what was expected of me. I didn't fight it. I just did what I was supposed to do. And through all those years, I hustled. I did whatever I did to just make life happen instead of living life, to be what others wanted me to be, to make my mom proud, really, to break it down. But then it was around the age 30 that I had a crack in my voice. I had a crack in my voice, and I stood up to my suppressor. We're going to say that. My suppressor, the one who was suppressing my emotions, the one who was suppressing me from being who I can truly be. And I started speaking up. And I continued to grow at that point in my life. And I would say my dreams were bigger because I was interacting with bigger people. I was interacting with people who had other dreams. So I started to learn how to dream, but I don't know if I quite learned how to dream for me, but my dreams did get bigger. So I continued. I went back to school because I was a high school dropout. I went back to college. I got an associate's degree. I started to feel a little better for myself. I experienced more in life. I traveled. I started just growing. And I was learning that power of living life and not letting life live me. And I just continued to grow during that. I divorced the husband that I was set up to marry at that time. As life went on and on, it was not until 2022. Well, 2021 is when I started my writing journey. I had always been scared of writing, reading, spelling. I would never touch it. I never thought I would be a writer. Didn't even know that. But when the pandemic hit, I started writing, and I used that as my healing. I use that to get to those deep emotions. I use that to release those emotions, and things were coming up that I didn't even realize I was holding on to. They just was there. And it shocked me, and it played like a movie in my head. It was like a movie. But as I was writing that, and I always say that I was a muse, like God was giving me this information to write down because it wasn't nothing I ever thought I would do. So I always use that term when I was writing. I'm like a muse. It's just coming out of me. But it wasn't until 2022, which, can we drop 2022? Because 2022, can we just drop 2022 in the comments? 2022 was when my eyes were starting to open, that I was still living in the dreams of others. I was still at age 50, say that 50, I was still living in the dreams of others. And that was at a working retreat. I started investing in coaches. I was like, you want how much money? But I need you. So, I started investing in these coaches, and they were showing me a whole nother life that I knew I could have, but I didn't know I could have. And so in 2022, when I was at this working retreat, our coach asked us to write out our dreams. So I began to write out my dream that I had been carrying with me. And as I was writing out this dream, and I stopped for a moment and I looked at this dream, and I had to ask myself, what about this dream aligns with me? Now I use the word what instead of why, because I do believe why is to serve as your purpose, but what gives us direction. So when I asked myself what, I realized the answer that I got back was, well, that ain't your dream. I was shocked. That's not my dream. But of course I want an international home on the beach somewhere. But that wasn't my dream. So I literally crossed that dream out right there on the spot, crossed it out. And I began to rewrite my dream. And it felt for the first time that I was dreaming. It was like the first time I was dreaming for myself. Well, that same year I went on a vacation. I'm going to share with you one of my dreams that I have, and it's on my bucket list now. But when I went on vacation that year, we were at one of the bars that people normally write on. And so I end up writing something that I want to accomplish, my dream on that bar. And I told the people at the bar, y'all make sure y'all don't cover this up, or make sure this stay right here, because one day you're going to look back on this and be like, oh yeah, I remember her. And what I wrote on that bar, I took a picture, and I'm going to post it soon on the internet. But what I wrote on there is, my dream is to be on stage. Of course, I want to inspire. Of course, I want to motivate. That is just my dream too, to inspire, motivate, and encourage and uplift other people. But I also believe that travel is the doorway to opening awareness, is the doorway to understanding diversity, is the doorway to your growth. So my dream is to be on stage one day, and I hope to see y'all there. And I'm going to be on stage, and I'll be like, you get a vacation, you get a vacation, you get a vacation. And that's what I wrote on that counter. I wrote that, and that is on my bucket list. And that's what I want to do, because I do believe travel is the gateway to understanding the world around us. And once we understand the world around us, we can appreciate ourselves more. I am about self-awareness, internal. I'm all about the internal growth, because that's how I healed. That's how I healed. Going deep inside of me and understanding who I was and what I wanted, and the dreams that I wanted for myself, not the dreams someone else wanted for me. So through that, I have come up with this mantra I use now. And this mantra is, if you want to be the leader of your dreams, you need to know what your dreams are. And I live by that mantra, because we have dreams, but sometimes they're not your dreams. They're somebody else's dreams. But you want to know what your dreams are? Ask yourself what? What about that dream aligns with your core? And that's what I got to say about that. I am available for speaking engagements, and I love to co-create. I'm not doing this by myself no more. I'm not doing this by myself. I've done that, and I went into, like, oh gosh, I would say I went into a depression and a bubble for 6 years and stayed to myself, because I didn't want to do it by myself. But what I've realized is I got to get out there and start something by myself to get the people who want to do it together. So I am open to co-creating workshops, retreats. And of course, if you're looking for a one-on-one close up with me, I am your transformative personal development mentor. I call myself a mentor for a reason. So I am your mentor if you want to work together, because we're not only going to align your business, we're going to align who you are and align those two things together so that they match and they blend like they should. I am TammyRenee. You can catch me on the Wave Philosophy podcast. My book is on Amazon /authors, TammyRenee. And if any of my social medias, you will find me through TammyRenee Transformation, except for my main Facebook is TammyRenee Maxwell. I will drop my link below, and I do have on my main site some first to know link, and in that first to know link, if you fill that out, I will keep you updated with everything that's going on. But honestly, truly, for real, I am very interested in putting something together where we can co-create some kind of event, because there's so much talent in this group. There's so much knowledge. There's so much inspiration. There's so much like empowerment in this group alone. If we just got together and did something every 6 months, even, how many people that would help? Especially, I am for the underdog. So, we got to acknowledge, and people have been trying to get me to move away from the underdog, because it's like, Tammy, you can go out there and work for corporate, make some money, and then fund your underdogs. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. They need our knowledge. They need this knowledge because nobody's giving it to them. So they stuck. They just stuck. So yes, I am interested in co-creating an event, and we're going to use Brad's idea, come up with a name for it, and do something together. Again, thank you so much for listening to me. I feel like I rambled. I feel like I forgot a whole bunch of stuff, but the more we know each other, the more you will know more about me. Thank you so much.
Yes, Tammy, thank you. I thought that I needed approval just to approve of me. What? Free my voice, baby. Come on. Listen, Tammy, I needed you about 2 years ago because I was stuck. I was stuck right where you're talking about. So many people need to hear that. Still living in the dreams of others. How many people are stuck there? Oh my God. That's a whole nother podcast right there by itself too. My God from Zion. This is some good talking. This is some good speeches. It's some good. Y'all are just killing the game. Let's keep it going. Okay, before we get going, put some fire emojis in the chat. Put something in the chat. Just, oh my God. It's awesome.